This lesson is for Nik Software's Dfine 2.0, the latest noise reduction software from Nik Software. Once you've opened your image within Photoshop, go to the Filter menu and pull down to Dfine 2.0, and this will launch the new Dfine 2.0 user interface within the preview window. As we go to the top left, we'll just work our way around the interface. In the top left, there are three different views that we have. We are currently using the single image view. We also have the ability to split that vertically to look at the image left and right based on before and after. And we can also do that horizontally. And those lines, of course, are movable. We can slide those up and down as we reduce noise and take a good look at before and after. We also have the preview checkbox here, so we can see before and after. Under modes, we have several different modes within which to work. Currently we have the RGB activated, and we are looking at the full range color image. We can also look at just the red layer, the green layer, or the blue layer, as well as luminance and chrominance, and these prove to be very helpful as we go through the noise reduction process, especially if we do it selectively. Next we have the select tool. Then next to it is the zoom tool and the pan tool. All have shortcut keys to be able to move quickly around. And then the next one is a new button for us. This is a change background color. This is just a real quick, simple way to go from a light gray to a medium gray to a dark gray based on what works for you and the specific image that you're working on, whether it's a higher key image or a low key image. The next area to take a look at in here is the reduce and measure area. This is where all the work gets done, basically. Before you can reduce noise, it has to be measured by the software. In this area, under measure noise, we can measure the noise automatically or manually. Once we click on reduce, we can then reduce the noise, whether we reduce the noise to the entire image, we can reduce the noise selectively by color ranges or by control points. The next area that we have down here is a reset button. Of course, that resets all of the default settings within the noise reduction software. And you'll notice a couple of buttons here. One is load and this is save when it's activated. What that tells us is we have the ability now to profile an image based on the settings that the software read. So if you'll notice down here, this image was a 12.2 megapixel ISO 400 Nikon D2XS camera. If I use an auto measure on that file, then every image that I shoot and open within the software with that same camera profile at that same ISO, I can save and load those automatically, so I don't have to measure every time. I don't have to measure that noise over and over every time I use the same camera and the same ISO settings. So it's very, very helpful for being able to move quickly in the future. The loop area is a special new area for us, and this gives us the ability, as we move around the image, we'll be able to see before and after split screen within the loop at a 100% ratio. Now we can control click to freeze that, or we can use this push pin tool to lock the position of the loop. Either way, we have lots of options there. Now, one of the things that's interesting about this loop, this is called the loop navigator pane. Now, what's interesting is that if we click and freeze that image there, and let's say we zoom into it, we want to zoom in a little bit closer to the image. So we'll just click the zoom tool and let's just zoom into this area. And you'll notice now that the loop tool over here has become a navigator. So now I can click within this box and I can navigate where in the image I want to go to. So it's very helpful for, again, quickly moving around the image and taking a look at the specific areas that we want to see. On the bottom of the user interface, of course, we have our brush, cancel, and OK buttons. The brush button allows us to selectively apply noise reduction once the file has been measured for noise. Then we can reduce the noise by clicking on the brush tool. Once we click that, a new layer is made within Photoshop. The layer is named, there is a layer mask, and our cursor becomes a brush. Then we can simply brush in and apply the noise reduction specifically where we want it. So we can do it selectively with the brush, we can do it, apply it to the entire image, we can do it through the color ranges, which we'll talk about in a future lesson, and we can also do it with the patented U-point color control U-point control points, which we'll also talk about. And then finally, in the lower left, we have settings, which is a pretty important area. This is where we can preset the defaults within the software. The zoom default, the preview mode, whether we want to see it as a single image, split image, vertical, or we want to use the last setting that we used previously. You can preset the default for the appearance, light gray, medium gray, dark gray, or also set it as the last setting. And then you can also auto profile a load behavior where you can have the software do nothing, or you can have it auto profile the image as it opens. In other words, instead of opening the image then clicking measure noise, I can click this on, have auto profile image activated, so that when I open the next file within Dfine 2.0, it automatically profiles that image for me. Then all I have to do is reduce the noise. Quite a helpful and very intuitive setting. And then of course there's a help command, the help menu. The help menu for Dfine 2.0 is very well laid out and very well designed and very useful. What you'll notice is that it's very clean and simple, and it's very well organized. So you can go through and look at some of the specifics as you roll over with the cursor. You can go through and look at and reach out to more in-depth information on specific areas of the software. Well, that concludes our tour of the new user interface.